making prosciutto wrapped shrimp. I'm going to mix that with a creamy sun-dried tomato pesto pasta sauce. Maybe like Alfredo kind of sauce with pesto and sun-dried tomatoes mixed in. Prosciutto wrapped shrimp is something, the prosciutto around the shrimp is what makes it just amazing. Stuff together to put on the shrimp. Just gonna put it in here, mix it together. Processing the shrimp, they're in a bowl over here. Get this stuff ready first. Now you can use any kind of sun-dried tomato. I probably should have used something to mix in. Since this is a cream sauce, I'm going to mix some white pepper in. But this doesn't have to be a creamy sauce to rub on there. This is more of a dusting to season the shrimp. This depends, obviously you put as much on depending on how many shrimp you have. Mixed up. So that's pretty simple. Next, we're taking the shrimp. I've done half of them already. Basically, take shrimp with just get the frozen ones with the shells on there still. Peel the shells off. When you're peeling them, you want to dry them so they can get wrapped up and get nice and crispy. So you need to drain off all the excess moisture. And we'll put the shells in here, and then I'll make some stock, and I'll put that stock, the broth or whatever, mix that in with the pesto cream sauce. This is the kind of stuff that takes the time. Preparing the shrimp, you gotta let them dry a little bit so they're nice and crispy. Okay, here is the pot I'm going to make the stock, the shrimp stock, and here's the shells I just cleaned off. And the way this works is put in some water, and this needs to simmer for 30-40 minutes. I'm going to make for the sauce some lemon zest. I'll do that right now since it's in front of me. Leave that to the side so when I'm making the sauce I can throw that in. Here we go. This is prosciutto. Make sure I keep the prosciutto separate from the raw shrimp. Prosciutto you want to get thin little strips. Cut that like this so you can wrap it around the whole thing and not have pieces flapping around. We'll take this, move it over here, season them, and then wrap it with the prosciutto. Take the shrimp. They're all dry, fairly dry. This is the mixture of seasonings and spices and the sun-dried tomato paste. Ground up sun-dried tomatoes. Make more of a sauce and it coats this better. Like that. And I'm just gonna line this up here and then just pan fry it as one of the final things, because that's something that's really good fresh off the burner and not lose much flavor at all. So I like to do those first. I already cooked the spaghetti noodles and it's sitting off to the side. Then I'm gonna go to the sauce. And now that these are all ready to go, you need to wait still until the sauce and pasta and the other things are ready to go. So I will place this in the fridge, just on the rack like that. It doesn't need to be covered, because it's not a bad thing if it dries out a little bit. It's not going to dry out in a bad way. Get the sauce going. Here's the stock that I've been making. Just God, this sucks. Here's the broth I've been making. Basically pour it into a measuring cup. Use the strainer. You don't want the shells and that stuff, obviously. And actually, you want to put it back in this, because I'm going to use this pan for the sauce. So I want to make sure I get out all the little pieces out of there. Heat all of this. With the heat on low, and took this off. Taking the 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And then that'll melt in a minute. Once that gets all melted, you put the shallots in. Now, shallots are not going to take very long to cook. And it cooks differently if it's fresh. This is just going to need like 2 minutes or so. Just on low heat. Very low heat. And the idea is you want to just kind of simmer the shallots to bring out flavor in that, rather than just throwing them in the last few minutes. You know, broth and other things like that aren't going to bring very much flavor out of the shallots. So put it out here, and heavy cream, broth, Parmesan. Since this broth just came off this stovetop, it's hot, so I'm not putting cold milk or cream into a really hot pan. That's not exactly the best combination. So now that I put the broth back in there, that's not going to have any problems. Then I will put the cream in. There's a little bit of lemon zest I grated just a little while ago. Put some cheese in. Once you get the cheese in, you gotta stir it much. You gotta make sure you stir it. Good. And it's still on low. Definitely keep it on low until you really think you need it higher. Because if you think, oh, I need it higher, there's a good chance you'll find out later you didn't. Also, nutmeg is called for. Just a little sprinkle. You notice that this looks very much, liquid because of the cream and stuff in there, and the cheese kind of goes to the bottom. So that's where you definitely need to make sure you stir this. And not just assume that it's a thin, creamy sauce. You get this burner over here ready. This is where I'll cook the shrimp. The sauce won't take that long. I'm going to add some more cheese to it as well. We'll cook this with extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna get the shrimp out of the fridge. I've done that a little bit ago. Obviously they'll cook faster if they're at room temperature. Cook the mushrooms first. Since those can cook and sit to the side without ruining texture or flavor or anything like that. Flip them after 5 minutes or so. And a little bit thin. Looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have added as much of the broth as I did. Half a cup of broth, 1 cup of cream, and I'm putting pesto in there too, so it's not like it's totally done. It's probably good. And my plan is to cook all the shrimp once here. I have a big enough pan to cook all of them. I made sure of that. Since the sauce is mostly done, since I'm thinking about it, I will put pesto in. A couple tablespoons. Stir that up. I'm gonna see what that looks like. Very simple as far as the ingredients in there. I like to put these in there and place them in there so that the prosciutto that's wrapped around it doesn't fall off. You know, you don't want to like just throw it in there. Then it'll definitely come unwrapped and then burn a little bit or just kind of disassemble. Shrimp are not going to take very long. Just use this fork to flip them. In other books I've seen calling for this, cooking lots of shrimp, is to put them on skewers so you can flip a lot of them at once. But that I've noticed was when you're barbecuing them, cooking them in a bigger place, obviously you can't flip a skewer on this thing very easily. And the basic idea is you just want to get it browned a little bit. Shrimp are kind of this greenish or bluish kind of white color. When they're done cooked, they definitely turn a little more pink or red. Stir the sauce again. It's kind of bubbling a little bit. Here's the pasta that I cooked just a little bit a while ago. My plan is to just keep it on the stove top and stir in the sauce and let it heat up that way. This is done now. There's the sauce. We just took some sun-dried tomato halves, slice them up and put them in the pan here. And this is where I'm going to heat this up. Also, we're going to throw in the mushrooms. Spinach. Here we have the shrimp. They were finished a little while ago. And this is fresh prosciutto wrapped shrimp.